Naruto has some of the best fights in anime. Don't argue with a fact, argue with your therapist. From Itachi versus Sasuke to Madara versus everyone, any one of these fights can be considered the best. But which one is the best of the best? Well, that's what we're gonna find out today, because I'm taking my 3 favorite fights in the series and listing them off in terms of creativity, choreography, and story. And we're starting this list off with a banger. My number 3 pick, Naruto versus Pain. Pain has one of the most creative powers in the entirety of this show. The fact that he controls 6 bodies and each of those bodies has its own unique ability makes this the most unfair one-on-one in the history of this entire show. And Naruto was no slouch in this fight either. With Sage Mode, a whole new bag of tricks, and a revamped Rasen Shuriken, this boy was putting in work. But what really elevated the fight was a story being told between the two combatants. Pain wholeheartedly believed that he was saving the world by kidnapping this child. And when he explains his viewpoints and his response to war to Naruto, it is hard to not see where he's coming from. In fact, this fight would be so much higher on the list if it weren't for one thing: the animation. Specifically during this section of the fight, where even though the animation is technically impressive, it doesn't fit the tone of the scene at all and turns one of the most pivotal moments in Naruto's character into a Looney Tunes cartoon. Which is a shame, because if not for that section, it would have easily been my number 1, but for now it's going to have to sit at spot number 3. With spot number 2 going to Lee versus Gaara. Rock Lee is the most robbed character in this entire franchise, and this one fight has been carrying my boy for a decade. But it carries him for a damn good reason. There is only one other fight in the entirety of part 1 of Naruto that's as iconic as this. In terms of creativity and impact, Lee versus Gaara walked so that Gojo versus Toji could run. And I do love the fact that the story being told can be interpreted through their fighting styles. Gaara has a magical demon that makes him untouchable and unhinged. Meanwhile, Lee has only 2 things: a left and a right. It is the quintessential underdog fight, and what showed a whole generation of kids that Naruto was not playing around. However, I do have one fight that I put above it, and that would be Naruto versus Sasuke. To be honest, any one of their confrontations could have been number 1. Every single time these two clash, the hype is real. However, despite all the forms, powers, and hacks that put these two on the level of gods, their very first all-out fight at the Valley of the End is my gold standard for a good Naruto fight. Creativity, it has that in spades. Naruto and Sasuke pull out all the stops in order to beat the pulp out of each other. Sasuke's obsession with Itachi versus Naruto's dedication to saving a friend led to one of the most visceral and well-animated fights in this entire franchise. In fact, this fight was so good that anime-onlys like myself sat through filler hell because we just had to know what would happen next. So those are my favorites, but as always, I want to hear from you guys. What are your favorite fights in Naruto? And also, what is your dream matchup between 2 Naruto characters that we didn't get in the series? Whatever your answers be, leave them in the comments. Let me know.